Good morning, good day, and good evening to you, wherever it is that you might find yourself at this beautiful moment in time. Welcome to the Wednesday Wanderer, the show where we unravel the beauty of adventure and creativity one story at a time. This episode is brought to you by Anchor. We are also brought to you by Michael Isbell Media. At Michael Isbell Media, we specialize in online branding and massive campaign content creation for any company or brand to help boost your visibility online. Using the power of content writing, photography, podcasting, and videography to reach your community where they already spend their time and attention. As well as our direct branding and consultation services, we have helped thousands of brands across North America become more efficient and save time and understanding on their creative process by making easy to read and understand digital tools that will walk you through the steps to building out your brand in a massive way off the work you're likely already doing. Shop Michael Isbell features a broad variety of merch that you can pick up to show your support for any of the shows under MBIM's network, such as The Wednesday Wanderer, M&M's for Breakfast, or any of my own content with creative designs constantly being added in for purchase. Be sure to use the coupon code TWWSupport on shopmichaelbisbell.com to receive 20% off your entire purchase, whether that be digital or physical products. That's TWW Support on shopmichaelbisbell.com. Liberty v. Justice is a serial entrepreneur and content creator out of Los Angeles, California, creating music and pursuing her career in acting while roughing it out on the streets. Liberty is the owner of her company, I'm Worth It, where she makes content to help people get through their own mental barriers and push through to a place of inner peace and gratitude. In this episode, Liberty and I discuss building your life for yourself and accepting responsibility for the life that you are living, understanding your control, and how you have the direct ability to do something about it. We talk about her struggles with homelessness and terrible situations that she has been able to overcome and keep a positive outlook on life through. The advantages of living in America on a global scale, the lack of security in working a job for someone else's dream, keeping out of burnout by pursuing your passions and building without OPA, other people's agendas, and so many other awesome topics. So without further ado, I give you Liberty v. Justice. All right, we are good to go. What is up, Liberty v. Justice? Welcome to the couch. Welcome to the Wednesday Wanderer. How's it going?
I am blessed. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I do want to go ahead and let you guys know before we dive into this. This will be a little bit shorter of an episode. Liberty does have to catch a bus, so we do got to make sure that we stay aware of that. So when you hear the alarm, that's what's going on. Just so you guys are aware, that's what that beeping noise will be. Yeah. All right, so Liberty, you're a musician, an entrepreneur, content creator out there making changes in people's lives, showing the authenticity of who you are through making those videos and really sharing your journey to help people learn from what it is that you've experienced, what it is that you've learned. So in your own words, what is it you do?
What do you mean?
You're in an elevator with Gary Vee. What do you tell him? What it is that you do? What's your elevator pitch?
I say that everything I do is because I want to be the... Oh, that's for me? Yeah. Oh, awesome. Thanks. I want to be the empowering example to show you what's possible. Mm-hmm. Like, I want to instill confidence in people and show you that nothing matters. Like Gary says, you are the variable. Yeah. You're the one variable in everything you do. So all that matters is that if you want to do something, you just got to know that you can do it, because confidence is not a feeling. Just like love's not a feeling. It's not what you say, it's what you do. It's not what you feel. You just got to do it. Absolutely. And the more you do, the more you're going to realize how capable you really are and how strong you really are, and that you can just do anything. Yeah. This is something I've touched on with a lot of my guests, actually. So what do you think of, like, the difference between people basing their whole, they base their whole lives and they say the only 2% are successful, right? Or only 2% make it, right?
But I feel like people are basing that number off of largely outscaled equations where the majority of people out there are taking no action. They're not doing anything. You can't compare a person who's putting in the grind, actually working towards a better future, to someone who's doing nothing. To someone who's just living every day to day, to like letting it happen and not putting in any action. So like, what are your thoughts on that as far as like, you know, people not putting in action versus like taking that grind, doing the thing, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's the whole point of everything that I'm trying to say. Just do it, because, you know, that's why people are not successful, because they're so terrified. They're so worried about what other people are going to think. They're living by the past. They're living by what their mama said they can or can't do. They're just, I always say that, this might sound kind of harsh, but it's true. Mm-hmm. You know, the 97% of people are living, and the poor people are the ones, because they're all sharing one brain. Mm-hmm. You know, they're all going and they're not doing anything because they don't believe it's possible. But that's why they don't believe, is because they're not doing anything. Once you start to do things, then you'll start to believe and have that faith more.
Right.
But you gotta at least pretend like, okay, I'm just gonna try shit. Just do stuff and try to do stuff that you want to do. Make little steps towards your goal every single day. And then you're going to see like, wow, that wasn't, you know what I mean? It's like you become kind of anesthetized to other people's agendas. I call it OPA, other people's agendas. Don't worry about it. Yeah. And you just like, you don't hear it. After a while, you just keep doing stuff and you're just like, these people ain't going to be around anyway, so who cares? Just do whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, because I'm the one that has to wake up. I wake up with liberty every morning. I look at myself in the mirror. When I go to sleep, you know what, honey? I sleep outside on the concrete. But when I sleep out there, I'm like, you know what? I'm doing more than most people. Right. So I'm proud of myself, and I sleep real good every night. I sleep so good because I'm happy with me, and I'm doing what I need to do to get to where I need to be. Yeah. You know? Yeah, so that's the thing, because everybody's sharing one brain, so that's why they all share one income. Mm-hmm. The crazy people, the people that are willing to sacrifice and give up looking good for right now, I don't care about looking good. I'm sleeping outside, but in 5 years, I could be eating lobster and caviar if I wanted. Right. I have my 1970 Boss 302 named Maverick. Yeah. You know, I'm going to have my private jet one day, you know. Yeah. I'm going to have that's what I'm thinking about. You know, what's crazy? The impact.
When you look on a global scale, we talk about this a lot on the podcast. When you look at it globally, just to be in America, like, you don't even have to be an American citizen, but to be an American citizen puts you even a step ahead. But just to be in America, living in America, puts you in the top 1% of the planet. Wow. Yeah. Like, even the most worse off person right now that's not like you, not taking action, they're not making anything, they're sick and they can't physically go out there and they can't do anything, and they're like homeless, but they can't go out and actually like do anything about it, you know, because that is a lot of people. Even those people are better off than 99% of the population on the planet. That blows my mind. Yeah. Just like put that into perspective, that like I can't even imagine that. Like, whenever I go to like some of the different places, you know, where it's like really bad, you know, it's like it's torn down and like looks really bad stuff, you feel like that empathy, you know, it's like damn, these people that have to live in this environment like every single day. But then you think about the fact that 99% of the world has it worse than that, and it's like I can't even comprehend what would be worse than that, you know what I mean? Because it's like, from my perspective, like, I'm still young, so it's like I've really only ever lived with my parents and then had the apartment I have now, you know. Yeah. So it's like, I'm curious what your thoughts on that are from like a global perspective. Like, do you ever think about that, like where you are here versus where you would be like if you were in another country in the same situation?
Yeah, I do think about it. I think my worst fear is, I used to think that my worst fear was people saying that I forgot where I came from. Mm-hmm. 3.5 years of being homeless so far, and trust me, I'm not gonna forget. Mm-hmm. And you know what I mean? Like, I'm just as loving. Like, I'm more loving today and more compassionate today than I've ever been in my life. Absolutely, you know? Yeah. And that's how you have to be. And that's what one of the things this situation has done to me, and plus given me so much confidence. And I've had this dream of going to Africa. I want to go to Africa one day and I want to go and live. So, but if I'm gonna go and live over there, the thought was that like actually forgetting where I come from. Like, so, and then like, I don't want to, now I got my place, I got everything, I'm all good, I got money coming in, so now I don't need to go help people in Africa anymore, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to, I always want to be that close to the people and always see myself as one of the people, like not try to look at myself as like, above others, you know what I mean? Because to me, that's the worst kind of person that you could be.
I mean, we're all just people. You know? Like, it doesn't matter if you're the president of the United States or if you're the world's most famous actor or singer or Gary Vaynerchuk. Like, people are just people. Like, at the end of the day, like, we get excited about what some people are doing and, like, the impact that they're making, and it makes us latch on or attach ourselves more to them. But at the end of the day, like, we're all the same. We all have a story to tell. We all have perspectives to give, and we all have lessons that other people can learn from so that they don't have to experience. We talked about this on the phone. It's like they don't have to experience those hardships in order to learn from them. Yeah. Because they can, like, we live in a digital age right now where we can actually learn everything there is to know about somebody through watching content, through reading articles, through digging into social media posts. Like, that's something that didn't exist 100 years ago. We can't look back and say, like, you know, this is a kind of a major example, but let's just say like Hitler. Like, we don't understand the mentality of what went on in his head, why he did the things he did. If he was a 13-year-old with Twitter, would he have been posting like weird stuff about like animals and dead like weird poetry, and people would have been like, yo, I think there's something wrong with your kid, and maybe like none of that would have happened. It's crazy to think about, like, the fact that we can't look back and see why all of that stuff happened in the past. It almost makes it feel like it's not real, you know? It's like like everything before documentation, before like videography and people like recording things on film. It's almost like it didn't happen. Like, it's just this story that's like there that impacts everything that we do, but that it's just this story that like we're going off of someone else's word, and that's all that history is. Yeah,
that made me think of something. Just because you brought up the thing about Hitler and Twitter, so it just kind of made me think. I was at the Powerful You conference the other day in Utah, and Jay Shetty was talking, and he had us close our eyes and do like a visualization, and he was like, okay, so he was like, I want you to visualize yourself walking down a path, and I forgot about this for a while, but it's just kind of funny. Cause so he's walked down a path, right? And so you're walking down a path, and he's like, is it a straight path, or is it a narrow path, or, you know, whatever, is it winding? And then, it was cool because I kind of got like a lot of perspective, I guess, about my situation right now. And so I was thinking, well, you know what's funny is that path is so straight, and it doesn't seem like it, but I know my path is a lot straighter than it's ever been, because I know I'm going to do my music and movies. That's what I'm doing. And I'm legendary. You know, I'm already, because people say you're not gonna be, you already are. I'm like, I need to stop saying that. Damn, they know it. They're not. but yeah. So I'm gonna do those things, and maybe I don't see as much progress, but the progress is at least that I'm focused and I'm going. You know, so I'm straight. Right? And I'm going to get there.
There's a lot of people that are doing nothing. Yeah. So you're doing better than about 96% of the people out there. Yeah. They're just doing nothing.
But that's the whole point, is that I got to keep going to show them, well, I don't want to hear your excuses. You know what I mean? Like, you can do anything you want to do, and if you're depending on the circumstances, well, then you're never going to do it, because it's always going to be something. It's like, well, my grandma died, and I was just thinking about this. My grandma died, and the day that she died, I had 9 years clean and sober that day, and I wanted to celebrate, but it was hard for me. So that day, I was actually working on a YouTube show that day. And a lot of people were looking down on me like that and stuff, but I live and breathe for my YouTube channel, you know? And it's because I know there's people out there that are looking to me. And the more I do it and more I'm consistent with it, the more people that come to me and say, hey man, I love your channel. You know, I had people sending me mail to my P.O. box saying, Liberty, you changed my life. Like, if it wasn't for you, I don't know what I would. There's people, you saved my life from suicide. There's people sending, and I'm just like bawling my eyes out because I used to be there a few years ago. And before I started actually openly talking about being homeless and stuff, I didn't make as big of an impact as I did until I started releasing and really coming out and being transparent.
Because people can see disingenuous transparency. So when you're trying to hide the veil over part of your life, people see that. They don't know what it is. You know, it's not like they can look at you and be like, oh, she's hiding this. But they're like, you know, this is cool, but something's off. You know, like something's weird. And then the second you start being authentic, they're like, you can feel it in your core. It's like, man, I identify with this person. They're real. They're actually sharing their perspective and their story. Like, for real, this is their life. This isn't like some made up, get rich quick, like be famous tomorrow kind of a thing. Like, I think that's something that society today has actually like almost trained us to assume. You know, it's like you assume that everyone's just out to make it. Everyone's just out to use their life or to use this story to like propel to the next thing, you know?
A lot of people are using the homeless thing, especially on YouTube. They're using it as a way to be like, just to get into SEO basically and get people to watch. But that was my fear, was like, I felt like if you know, I've been through so much stuff, you know, and I used to be so insecure. So it's like everything that I do, it always end up being like another, I don't know how to explain it, but like a stepping stone to being more confident, you know? Right. Because that's why my company's called I'm Worth It Incorporated, because I want everybody to know that you're worth it, you know? And give a man a fish he eats for a day, teach a man a fish he eats for a lifetime. Right. I'm teaching myself to fish right now, you know? But that's how people are going to learn from my life. And I was like, well, how am I going to tell them anything? Who's going to take me seriously if they find out that I'm homeless, you know? Especially when I would say like, oh, I want to be, you know, I'm going to teach you how to be financially free and whatever, you know? And how are they going to, but people are like, people just started coming, man, you're so brave, whatever, you know? And it's like, wow, I'm glad I did that. Because especially when I first became homeless, I don't like to say that word, but I'm using it now just to save time. But
another word you could say is you're a digital nomad.
Yeah.
You know, you just travel place to place.
Yeah. But just like people, I've been through a lot, but I think sometimes people have made comments, but for the most part, anything that has happened is because those people feel unworthy, and it had absolutely nothing to do with being homeless. And being homeless is not necessarily a bad thing. Being poor is not necessarily a bad thing. It doesn't mean that you're worthless. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person or anything. But it kind of does, like, it knocks you down a little, you know what I mean? But at the same time, because I've been through all this, it made me realize, like, A, I'm never going to be poor again. B, I thank God for it, because I learned so much. I became so much more confident. You know what I mean? And I realized that I don't really need any people. I don't need to, I shouldn't say I don't need people. We all need people, but I do need people. That's one thing I have realized. But I don't need to try to make people like me or support me.
Right, just let it happen naturally, organically.
And because people come and go all the time, you know? So I don't have to worry about people leaving either.
Right.
You know, even if you think you got a good connection. Let me go back to, I almost forgot, the Jay Shetty. So, like, I had this. So he goes, all right, so, okay, now you're on the path and you see a key. What does the key look like? And, you know, what do you do with the key, you know? So my key was a skeleton, you know the skeleton keys?
Yeah.
What do they call them?
Do you mean like a literal skeleton? Because the skeleton key was a key that could theoretically open up any door.
Yeah, like that, yeah. And so it was like that, and then, I can't remember what my revelation was about the key. It was, I don't know. But then there was, so I picked up the key and I kept the key, right? So that was important. But then everybody else had all these like it was something like this major symbol with their cup. It was like, next thing was like, do you see a cup? What does it look like? And mine was just like a styrofoam cup. It was just a small styrofoam, you know, those cups usually you get when you go to you ever been to the Alkanon Club, the AA Club? Yeah. So just get a little cup of coffee in a styrofoam. That's what it was. And I was thinking, man, that was weird, right? And so he told us that the key means education, and then that, you know, that's the path you're walking on right now, obviously. But then the cup symbolizes your relationships. And I was like, at first I felt kind of bad. I was like, wait a minute, am I throwing out relationships? Are relationships disposable? I mean, that's not right. That's like the whole antithesis of who I am. But then I thought about it and I was like, no, that's a good thing, because it felt good. It felt really good. It just means to me that I'm confident with who I am. I can take it or leave it, basically. I don't need to beg people to be in my life. I love being alone. I always have. I'm back.
I think that's important, because if you can't be happy with who you are, you'll never be happy with anybody else. Because at the end of the day...
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Well, see, at the end of the day, like, people change, too.
Yeah.
You have to, like, 10 years from now, the person that's, like, right there next to you could be a completely different person. And whenever, like, I'm not saying that that's going to happen. Like, with me and Marielita, like, I don't have any doubt in my mind that we're going to last, you know, and, like, have an amazing life together. But... it's possible. And whenever you're comfortable with the fact of being alone, with the possibility of being alone, then anything is possible. Because at the end of the day, although you try your best with the relationships as they're there, the second they're gone, you know, it's, you know, in your heart of hearts that you put in your best, that you've like put in your greatest amount of effort that you can. So if it doesn't work out, then you know, it wasn't meant to happen. You know, I put in everything I had into it. It didn't work. All right. And that's, you know, I use Marielita, but like that transcends not just like a physical romantic relationship. Yeah. When I say relationship, I mean, it could be friends, acquaintances, networking connections, like, me and you meeting through like the business stuff with Twitter and everything, and you being on the podcast and everything. Like, you make all of these connections in all these different capacities. I think the important thing is when you're comfortable being on your own, you're comfortable being yourself, then when you do get to interact with these other people in these other capacities, you could put all of your energy into that, because you're living in that moment. You know, you're not constantly looking towards something else, like sitting there thinking, oh man, I wish I was in this other place with these other people. You're where you want to be at that moment in time.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, I was going through life where, like, I had a bunch of people around me, and I didn't even like them. You know what I mean? I didn't like these people, but I just couldn't. I didn't want to be alone. Right. You know, I didn't know how to be alone, and like, especially with my ex. You know, he's a brilliant man. Oh my gosh, he's so smart, but he hates himself so much. And like, I could see him, he could be, I got hair in my eye. Oh, sorry, it's probably Harley. That's okay. But like, I knew that I never loved him. I never even liked him. But he has a great sense of humor sometimes. He's very sadistic though. But I could see him being healed. Like, if he's healed of all that trauma, like, some people might know who he is. I'm not going to mention his name, but in case somebody's out there watching, I don't want to put him on Front Street or whatever, but he's been through a lot of trauma in his life. And if he would just get over that and just realize that he's worth it, you know, and I could just see him being like the next Steven Spielberg, you know, and, but I don't know. I mean, I hope nothing but the best for him, you know, but just being around him was so draining. You know, he hit me, you know, he called me names all the time. He was like cheating with my family members, my friends. Well, thought they were my friends, you know, but, I just thank God that, like, that's just another thing. I thank God he was in my life, because he made me realize who I really am. And now I'm never gonna, I don't want to waste 1 second with somebody. Like, I don't want to be sitting there with somebody and thinking, man, I really wish I wasn't here, or I really wish I was with this person.
Exactly.
Or whatever. Like you said, I'm always thinking about that because I look at myself now like, okay, now he wasn't the only one that was wrong. I was wrong too because I could have been with somebody else, and I wasn't doing him justice by being with him when I really didn't want to be with him. We both could have been better off. You know what I mean?
And that's all, hindsight is 20/20. Like when you look back on a situation, it's very easy to, feel like it's like, oh, well, it could have just been easily fixed this way. But like everything happens for a reason. Everything follows its path. Like you said, it brought you to be who you are right now. So I'm actually really curious, not trying to like pivot for any particular reason, but I'm just really curious because it's like staring in my face. Yeah, I want to know what's up with the Mickey Mouse hat.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Okay, this is a cool story. Okay, so I get on the bus here. I'm coming over here. And this guy gets on the bus with this hat. And I was like, hey, man, I love that Mickey hat, right? And he's like, oh, thank you. And so he's sitting over there, and this the bus driver, his name was Manny. And he was like, are you a singer? And I was like, yeah. I thought that was weird. Like, why does he know I'm a singer? And he was like, well, sing me something. Let's sing something. And I was like, okay. So I started singing this country song, actually. I just did a cover for it. I haven't released it yet. But I sang, and then everybody was like clapping. He was like, wow, you're good. And then the guy with the hat was like, wow, that was so good. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah, that's good enough for this Mickey hat. And so he gives me his hat as a tip.
Oh, wow. That's actually really cool. Dude, that's a really cool story. That just happened today?
Yeah, that was dope. Good. Yeah, stuff like that happens all the time. I think it happens more when I'm just like being myself and kind of letting things happen. Like, with the bus driver, a lot of times I'm more, wherever I go, I just want to sit there and be by myself and get on my computer or put my headphones on or read something or whatever.
Yeah.
But when I let things happen, and when I don't try to force things, but when things happen organically and you're just who you are in that moment, and that's when cool stuff like that happens.
Absolutely. That is really cool, though, that just happened like randomly. That's really dope. Dude, my favorite experience with, like, I don't know if you've ever done busing or anything like that where you, like, play for money and all that kind of good stuff. But whenever I first moved out here, I actually earned my first couple of months' rent playing music in Huntington Beach Pier. So, like, I went to Huntington Beach to the pier there on Main Street, where all the activity is, and I would just play my guitar. Like, I played at different spots up and down the street. And that's how I earned my rent, like the first 2 or 3 months that I lived here. I know, right?
Wait. I mean to ask you, where do I find your music?
Yeah, all of my stuff is actually on my website. So michaelbisbell.com. Links are in the description down below if you haven't heard of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, all of my music's on my website, on my YouTube channel. You can just search Michael B. Isbell on YouTube, and there's a lot of videos that other people have recorded for my shows and stuff like that. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, good stuff.
Check it out.
Yeah, I'll send you some links whenever we cut the show. Yeah. My phone's being used for the camera right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you were saying, I can't remember where I saw you. I think it was on your trailer or your first episode or something on your YouTube. You were talking about, you're a musician and stuff like that. And I was like, I got to see some of his music.
Yeah, I'm actually working on a series right now, a Saturday series, where I'll be putting out covers and different, like, original songs every single Saturday.
Oh, really? Wow.
I've just been so heavy with this podcast that I haven't really had time for, like, any other projects aside from the project and my normal day job, So it's just been a lot. It's been a lot of stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but that's a good thing. I love to create, so, like, being able to constantly have something to do, and this freaking injury, like, it's not helping me, to like have to lay around and set my arm up, and like you play too much and your arm starts to swell up. Like, it's not helpful for
what happened? How did that happen?
It was a wreck on my skateboard. It was just it's happened too many times, and it's starting to like get really bad because this is like the third time it's happened. It's scraped up my elbow's
the
like
same arm.
Same exact arm. So yeah. It's okay. I think I just need to change the wheels because they're starting to get a little old, But,
wheels?
Yeah, my boosted board. So you see the boosted board right there? The one with the battery?
Oh.
That's how I get around everywhere. So I don't actually have a car. I just use the electric skateboard and I get around and stuff. Yeah, so I've gotten into a couple wrecks, and none of them have been my fault, though. That's the thing. That's what pisses me off.
With a vehicle or something?
One time it was with a vehicle. One time it was these two bikers just were in the middle of the sidewalk, and they just stop in the middle of the sidewalk, which, first off, they're not supposed to be in the sidewalk on a bicycle to begin with. They're supposed to be in the bike lane, because there was a bike lane, like a clear, empty bike lane right there. And that was not pleasant. And then just recently, it was another car just comes out like in the middle of the crosswalk. Like, I'm so tired of it, like, honestly, because it's really ridiculous how, like, none of the cops, like, monitor this or keep anyone from, like, killing people, basically. You know, my friend just almost got hit by a car down in Huntington. Like, people just, like, don't pay attention. As soon as the light turns green, they're just gone. Even though, like, what if there's an old lady crossing the street and it turns, like, red hand and she's only halfway? That doesn't mean you get to gun it.
Yeah.
You still have to wait for her to finish crossing the street, you know? Like, it's ridiculous, man. I don't know. Like, I can't deal with it, honestly. It's pissing me off. Like,
I know.
to the point where I
got walker's rage, too.
Oh, really? Like, I've been talking to Marielita about possibly moving up north a little bit, like, to, like, the San Bernardino area, just because, like, the Ventura, San Bernardino, that whole scope of area, because it's about an hour north of LA, so it's still, like, in a good spot, but it has seasons, and there's less traffic, because it's, like, more open, you know, and beachy. It's more of a beach vibe kind of a town, so it's not like all these crazy people trying to, like, get around and gang violence down the street. Like, we don't have any gang violence here, but it's close enough, you know what I mean? It's close enough that it's like, like, I don't want to have to deal with that, you know what I mean? Like, having that so close is, like, too much stress for me. It's like I've got too much shit going on to, like, let that negativity just constantly be in the back of my head, you know, and be worried, kind of, you know, like, anytime Marielita's here alone, like, I've always got that in the back of my head. It's like, oh, what if something happens while you're gone? You know what I mean? Like, it's not a good thing. So I want to definitely, I don't know, I still may be here in Orange County, but we're definitely going to be moving soon, because it's like, I don't like that sketchy vibe.
I'll tell you a good place. I haven't really been to like San Bernardino, but I've been on that line to go on the Metrolink to go Rancho Cucamonga, man.
Oh, really?
Such a beautiful place.
I have some friends that live up there.
Yeah, it's so nice. Like, it's just, it's right there in the foothills of the mountains. I mean, I love the mountains. And it's just so much more quiet. Plus, there's not that many homeless people there. You know, when I go there, I can sleep anywhere.
Honestly, it's not even the homeless people around here. Like, because there are quite a few homeless people here in the Santa Ana area and everything. It's not them that's the problem. It's honestly just the gang violence. Like, there's been a lot more recently, but it's down this way. You know, so, like, you know, there was Maine and Alton, like, way down Alton. It's bad because there's a lot of dispensaries down there, like medical marijuana dispensaries and non-medical marijuana dispensaries. And like, you hear gunshots and stuff all the time. You hear people, like, peeling out in cars and stuff. It's like, geez, I feel like I'm living in the middle of Grand Theft Auto sometimes, you know? It's like, it's a bit much mentally to like, let that tax on your brain. Somebody died within visible distance of our balcony.
Oh, wow.
Like,
somebody's murdered?
Somebody was shot, like 6 times.
From your apartment building or just...
Like, yeah, you could see it. Like, if you see the donut shop that was right across the street.
I mean, it wasn't somebody that lived here, though.
No, I don't think so. Okay. No. Basically, it was somebody that they were all involved in gang stuff, and, like, it was some sort of initiation thing or something like that. I don't know. I've heard different stories from different people, but the point is like, somebody died, like, right there. You know, it's, what if one of their bullets, like, ricocheted off, and that could have easily come to the apartment complex. Like, there's a family that lives right below us. Like, a full family, like, mom, dad, 3 kids, like, that bullet could have flown into their window.
I think you worry too much.
I do, but, like, you know, honestly, that stuff happens more than you'd think. Like, that's how common, like, for lack of a better term, how, like, your common people, like, your average majority of the amount of people that are, like, just living in an apartment or a small house with a family, man. That's how they get affected, is by the people around, like, the gang violence around them. It's usually not anything that they do. They're, like, caught up in some other person's BS, and then they're just in the wrong place at the wrong time, you know?
Yeah, and it's, I mean, you know, they say, people say they misquote the Bible all the time, and they say that, you know, money is the root of all evil. First of all, that's not what the Bible says. The Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. And so when you put money before people, that's what you get. It's actually poverty. Poverty is evil, you know, because if you look at the statistics and if you look at where all the murders and the gangs and the robberies and all that stuff is taking place, it's in the bad neighborhoods. It's in it's in poverty. It's in poor people are the ones that commit crimes.
Right.
You know? And so,
why do you think that is? Like, as someone who has experienced hardships, but has taken more of the positive, like, you know, trying to make it building things for yourself, doing the content, like, obviously that's really hard. So that's obviously a reason. But what do you think is, like, the differentiator? Like, why are you so different than the other people? Like, why do you not just do that? You know, like, what keeps you pushing forwards with what you're trying to do?
I just feel like that's just who I am, and that's what makes me different.
Yeah.
You know, that I'm willing to wait. No, I don't have sex before marriage. People have said you can lie too. You know, if you want to get into this shelter, you can lie. Because I'm a single female that has no kids with me. I'm not being abused right now by a sexual partner. That's why I'm not in a shelter. You know. But I feel like even though like I get discouraged, like the past month I've been so depressed, but I'm like, okay, but I gotta keep doing it anyway. You know what I mean? I gotta keep doing what I do, and I gotta find new things. Like now I'm gonna be performing every week. I'm performing on stage.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's exciting. Like I can't wait to go perform on stage this week. You know, I missed last week because I was out of town, but you know, and then I was just on a little side note. I was so excited to go to somebody invited me from when I go to the coffee shop every Friday to perform, and I met somebody, so I've seen him there a couple times, and he's like, hey, you should come. Let's go to karaoke and practice on Sunday. Okay, so I go there. I've never been there. It was hard for me. Because I had my stuff with me, and whenever I go to a new place, like I had my sleeping bag and everything because I had nowhere to. I had to take my stuff with me. You know what I mean? So like if it's during the day, my gym's open till 11 on the weekdays. On Sundays it's 9:00. So this thing was at 9:00, and I go there and I take. You know, I got my book bag, I got my sleeping bag, and I got like one other bag. I got like 3 bags. And so going in there, but the strangers, you know, they're going to go in there and they're going to judge you. I'm like, so what, man? Just bring the joy because these people in here need some role model, you know? And so I go in there and I'm just cool, like just smiling. It's like, I can't wait to sing. And I was so happy though. After all, I've been, guy at the door's like, no. I can't let you in there with all these bags. I was like, well, I got to sing.
Yeah.
He was like, but I normally, I don't really let people, is there something you can do with this bag? I was like, no, there's nothing I can do with the bag. And I looked him dead in his face. And just, like, looking back at myself that whole night and all that I had been through. And I was like, okay, now you know, look, Liberty, you know this is your dream. And you know you're going to make it happen no matter what. Because that's how important it is. It's more important than pride. It's more important than anything. That you're like, I don't care. Okay, I'm going in there. And then when I walk in there too, this girl was like the old me, I would have been boo-hoo, poor me, you know, maybe crying in the bathroom, or maybe I would have left and punked out. This, like, as soon as I walk in, I finally get past this door guy, and he was cool, you know what I mean? And then after, that's what I do, is I'm good at talking to people. I'm good at making connections. I got this guy's name, you know. You understand anything that people do to you, it's because they're suffering so much, you know? Yeah. So, anyway, I get in there and the lady was like, dang, this recession is really hitting hard. And she was looking at me and I was like, I was thinking, people think I'm stupid.
Someone
or what?
Just said that to you?
Yeah, she didn't even say it to me. It was like she was saying it to her friends when she was looking at me. And I knew she was talking about me. I'm not stupid. I have a master's degree.
Oh, really? What do you have a master's degree
in writing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
What does that entail? Like writing, like book writing, like literature? Or?
Just creative writing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really cool. Like, have you ever actually used that?
I use it every day. Like, you know, when I'm writing, I write out posts. I wrote a book.
Well, I meant like professionally, like for
What,
like
to get paid?
Yeah, for like a job or anything. Have you used that degree at all?
Actually, to get paid, yes, I did. 2 months before I graduated with my master's, this was 2015. Yeah. I actually got my very first article was published in the Salvation Army's War Cry magazine.
Oh, wow.
I got paid $256 for that. And then I got published in a car magazine. You ever hear of Auto Roundup? It was the only thing it was hard because, I did really well on that song. That's all I wanted to know. I killed it. So I'm going to do it again and I'm going to record it because the recording wasn't that good. The guy, he wasn't very good with sound, but I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it this Friday. I'm going to do it again. And
that's awesome.
I had everybody was standing up clapping and yeah, it was awesome. But anyway, so I got published in this car magazine, and then what was hard was I only got paid like $25 for that one. But what was hard about that one was because after I wrote the article, I did my research and all this stuff, and they were like, "Oh, hey, Liberty," they were like, "Could you give us a picture of your car?" And the way that I wrote it was I wasn't trying to fool people. It was about my future car, my 1970 Boss 302, and my boss does this, and my boss does that, and he does you know, and I was like, I forgot to tell them it was like, and they were like, do you have a picture of your car? And I'm like, oh crap. So, and I was like, no, I ruined it all.
Yeah.
What did I do? But it worked out because I was like, you know, I just told them what I told you. I'm like, this is my future car. I wrote it in the future tense, you know? But they published me anyway. Everybody loved the article. And, you know.
Have you ever heard of website? So I have 3 website suggestions for you that might be really helpful for you. Because I didn't know you had a master's in writing, or I would have told you this on the phone call.
Oh, yeah.
Fiverr, Shift Gig, and Upwork.
Oh, yeah. I heard of Upwork and Fiverr. I didn't know. What's Fiverr? I thought that was just for like graphic design and stuff.
Graphic designers, but also writers. So people that need the copy written for their website, or they need like their ideas where they can like voice record like blah, 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 blah. And then you turn that into like, you know, a blog or something like that to be able to interpret it and write it and use grammar correctly and all that stuff. There are people that pay for that. Like freelance will just pay you like cold hard cash. Like, you know, whatever the deal is. Like maybe it's $25 for a bio or something like that, you know, like a professional, like about that person bio or something.
So you can like start stacking PayPal those up. Or something?
Or whatever you set up.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, do me a favor, write that, or text it to me.
Yeah,
text
I will.
It to me. Yeah.
Because those are really helpful. Another thing too, so we were talking about this before we started the stream. You told your story about Teespring and your issues with their customer support and everything. So from my own research and just from like what I've been doing with my own brand and everything is I found the best way to do merch is 2 different companies, Shopify to build your store and Printful to build your products. So basically Printful is its own website, but they're like a partner application of Shopify. Excuse me, I had a burp. Through like a partner application of Shopify. So basically what it is it's a warehouse on demand service. So people can go, they look at your website, they see the merch, they click on it, and they say, I want to buy this Liberty V shirt or whatever, right? And they click that. Printful will make the shirt and send it directly to them. Okay. So like it cuts out the middleman. So you don't ever have to like actually directly deliver it to them physically. You don't have to do like any of that extra maintenance stuff. They have a customer support 24 hours. Like you can just call them. They can call them. There's free returns. Like they'll fix things. They're super, they're really amazing. And the biggest part of it is you don't have to pay for the merch and then sell the merch.
You okay?
Yeah, no, she's fine. She just wants to come out and talk. That's Harley. If you guys heard that, my dog Harley's back there just barking.
I thought that was Mary. I thought she was like coughing or something.
No, that's my dog. She likes to come and be social. So she's like, they're talking. I want to go out there and say hello.
Awesome.
Yeah, Harley's cute. But the Printful is amazing because you can make really high quality items, and then it doesn't cost you any money. Because literally, like, let's say it costs $10 to make a $20 shirt, you just made $10. Like the person buys it for $20,
They pay for the shipping. They do all the other stuff.
So
right?
I have to put any upfront money into it?
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Awesome.
it's
That's
free
what I love
for the
about
first.
Teespring.
Exactly. It's free for the first 30 days. Shopify is. So the only thing is you have to just be smart about it and like maybe you talk to a couple people like to make sure that you can sustain it. It's like $30 a month. And basically what you could do is talk to a couple people that are interested in buying your merch and tell them like, all right, cool. I'm launching a new Shopify store here next week. Be on the lookout. I'll post the link. That's when you can buy it. Or you just send the link to them directly, and say, hey, here's the link. Here's my store. Hit it up and you can support me and, buy this merch. And basically it's just a lot better for you because better customer support. And again, like I said, you don't physically have to get it and then give it to them.
Yeah, I didn't have to do it with Teespring either. I just did that as... because then the people they didn't have to go online and they didn't have to, and then it was kind of like more in my control because I could just basically just take their money
you can
and
do
I
that
wouldn't have to wait for them to go, you know what I mean?
You can do that too. So you can physically like take cash and then you just have to put it into an account and make an online order, and then just have it shipped wherever.
Yeah.
And you can even get their addresses and send it directly to them, so like if you're traveling and you meet some people and you're like, oh yeah, you want to buy my merch, support what I'm doing, then all you've got to do is get their addresses. So like you can make like a little sheet, like name, address, and email or whatever. So you can email them updates and that kind of a thing. And then you literally just send it to their address. When you get back, you just boom, 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 put in the order, send it to their address, and then send them an email that says, hey, guess what? Your order's on its way.
Yeah.
And that'd be simple, super simple. And there's a lot of apps in Shopify that make that easy to use and like super cool. And you can just watch YouTube videos to learn how to use that. What I would do, and the mistake that I made, and the reason I'm telling you about the free trial now to be aware of it ahead of time, I made the mistake of signing up and just casually figuring out over the course of my 30 free days. But what I would advise to anyone else that's listening to this, if you've never opened up a Shopify store, I 100% advise that you go on YouTube. You spend about 3 to 5 hours just watching YouTube videos, everything you can find about Shopify, everything you can find about Printful and print on demand. And then when you have an understanding of it, and you have the concept under your control and you know kind of the direction that you want to go as far as pricing and like how to do things and how to distribute it, then start your trial. So then as soon as you start your trial, you can start working. So hopefully within that 30 days of free trial, you can earn the $30 to $40 to get the next month. And then you can earn the $30 to $40 to get the next month. And your goal can be to earn a year, and then you're, online for a year, and then you start worrying about making profits for your other things.
But you know what? I don't even know if I'm going to even do that at all. Like, try to sell merch at this, not right now, because I'm thinking, I was so excited. I guess I didn't get to check my email. I'll have to check it at, because tomorrow's my birthday. I'm going to be 40 years old. Happy early birthday. Thank you.
Oh, that's a big one, too. That's a milestone.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Happy birthday.
Thank you. But I was just thinking, like, I was looking forward to working on my birthday, like doing the audition. But today would be the last day. I mean, I'm sure they're not going to wait. So I'm thinking either I didn't get to check my email for a few hours because I was coming here and stuff. But I have to check it one more time because I had something like... Years ago, I had this, before I ever really knew that I was a musician, I had this dream of, like, singing and performing on a cruise ship.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Did you apply for a cruise ship?
And I told people, yeah.
That's awesome.
So, but I'm thinking, like, God, this is from you. Come on, I know I'm going to get this. But I applied. I sent them, some of my YouTube covers and stuff like that. And so if I didn't get it this time, I'm sure it's going to happen.
Yeah, there's a million cruise liners. Honestly, that's exactly what I was going to do when I graduated high school. I was moving out here. I was going to go be on a cruise liner. But I met Mary Alita, and I was like, okay, now I have a reason to stay. But I was going to hop on a cruise liner and just start traveling the world. Just hop off the cruise in a different country, do the whole nomadic thing, making money online. And you can also make money in other countries really easily by working in their farms and like working in their homes and stuff. Like that's just a thing that other countries are big on. Like you can... and you can actually look it up online and find people that in exchange for like cleaning their house or something for a week, they'll let you stay with them or something like that and like cool. Live with them, and then they like feed you like your family and that whole thing. Like that's a big culture in Europe. This is why people travel a lot in
Yeah.
Europe, you know, because it's so easy to travel because
Yeah.
people are so open.
I want to do, like, I do want to, like, I thought that would have been so cool. Just, you know, performing and being paid. It was like $1,600 a week or something. But I'm just gonna keep on until that comes to fruition. If it doesn't happen this time, then until that does, it was gonna be like 4 months at sea. It was gonna be so cool. But until that happens, then I'm gonna keep looking, because there's a lot of bars, I guess, that, and, you know, restaurants and places that want to pay people to perform too.
Because live music is going out. Like, people are stopping to rely on those bars and relying on these live entertainment industries because of the internet. So they're desperate. Like, they're like, oh my God, we need people that don't suck. You know, that don't sound like a dying pig being thrown off the Empire State Building. So when someone comes along that's like entertaining and actually sounds good and has a good story, they're like, yes, you, come on, like, we need you now. Let's go. We have like 2 people and we need like 10. So come on, let's go.
Yeah. And I'm looking and I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to be focusing on that, and then looking at acting jobs, because I've been working with Central Casting. I mean, I only had one role, and it was on Shameless, but you know,
that's awesome.
The coolest part about it was that I was actually getting paid to sit on a fake plane in another show while I'm writing my own YouTube episode.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's what's up. Making it work.
I was happy.
Have you heard of Virgo Talent? That's similar to that, but it's for more so for commercials, and they also do movies and stuff like that, but it's mainly commercials. The reason why I tell you about that is because that's really good for like just quick, fast, like consistent money.
Yeah.
Because commercial work, there's always a new commercial.
Yeah.
There's, you know, and they're constantly making more and more and more. The movies are limited. You know, it's like there's, you know, they have if they have 10 spots, then 9 of them are going to be famous people that people already know, and 1 of them will be some new slot that they give to one new person to be able to join this like slew of actors. You know what I mean? Like, that's usually how it works, is there'll be a certain ratio of like, okay, so this movie's probably going to do well, or people don't really know about this movie, so we're going to give it a lot of famous people, and then maybe like 1 or 2 not famous people that like nobody knows yet, so we can give them a chance to like make it or whatever.
Yeah.
So that is a lot less common because there's only 2 spots. But for the commercials, you literally can get paid to just sit in a what do you call it, like an auditorium.
Yeah.
Like, you know, whenever you know, that you see those commercials with like the people that are cheering or something, like a sports team or something like that, and they're like, yeah, and the crowds, you know, they like stand up, they're painted all faces up and everything like that. That pays like $200 just to like for a couple of hours just go get up in a balcony thing and scream for some sports team randomly. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a bad gig at all. And since you're in LA, that's where it is. It's locally in LA, so you could just like pop right into those little. Because it's pretty last minute. Like, you would need to be able to pretty much last minute. They give you like a ding ding. Hey, here's this thing that's happening in 2 days. Like, do you want it? And then you're like, because basically it's like Facebook on their end, and they can look and see all these people, and then they just pick you, and they're like, yeah, I want you to be, you know, based on your profile and your photos and whatever, I want you to be in this project. And then they send it to you, and you're just like, accept or deny. Yeah,
send me all those things.
Yeah.
Please. And you know what I was just thinking, like, I was just thinking, man, like, I totally believe I'm, like, the sexiest, most gorgeous woman to walk this planet. But it's not, it's like, I kind of get disillusioned, or what's the word, when I look in the mirror, you know? Because I don't see on the outside what I see in here, but in other people don't see that either. They see, I'm not saying I'm ugly, I'm not saying that. But I mean, I'm just like average though, you know?
Right.
But what makes me extraordinary and gorgeous and all that is because here, and it comes, like, your energy, it all comes out, and like, I just sometimes wish I could see what other people see, you know? Because I'm just walking down the street, and people like, you know?
You just look bright-eyed, you look happy, energetic.
Yeah, man, because I got love for people, and I love what I'm doing, and I see myself going higher, and I see, you know, making an impact and stuff like that. And I just want for everybody else the same thing I want for myself. you know?
And what is that?
Just to be yourself and do what you want to do and to make a lot of money off of it, you know? Because you can have as much money as you want. Most people just don't believe it, though.
Yeah.
You know, they just don't believe that certain things are possible, and that's the reason why they're not working towards it.
Right.
You know?
I 100% agree, and we talk about that a lot on the show. It's fear versus faith. You know, like, you can be fearful that you're not going to be able to do it, or you can put your faith in your own ability to provide for yourself as opposed to someone else's ability to sign the paychecks. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, people feel really secure when they have a job, but jobs are not secure, guys. Like, you got to realize you can be let go at any second, and also your company could go out of business at any second. You're not guaranteed. Like, when you walk into work, it doesn't matter where you work. Any company can be found out to be like some crazy fraud or some crazy like literally you could walk into Apple today and they could find out that, oh, guess what? They corrupted the technology years ago, and so now the whole company has to shut down. Even that is not secure. Like, everything has an end date. Everything. And I think it's really important. This kind of touches back on what we were talking about earlier about being comfortable being alone. I think that transcends the physical sense of being physically alone and just not having any people around you or anything. But when you're comfortable being alone, as in you're comfortable making decisions for yourself, you're comfortable doing things that aren't filtered through the approval or the guise of another human being. I think that's what is really important to kind of remember as you go through your journey, is that, like, you are the only one that knows what's best for you. You know, because you're the only one that has to experience what happens to you. No one else cares because no one else has to experience it.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's like, that was just hard. The hardest thing was like to go through in life. It wasn't like, you know, the drugs. It wasn't being molested for years and then being raped and all that stuff. It was the fact that I couldn't trust myself.
Right.
You know, I had all these people around me, trusting them and relying on them when I know they're not reliable. Because what do? They didn't do anything for me, you know, except put me down and make me believe their thoughts. That's why I was, you know, part of that 97% or whatever, thinking with the one brain. But the thing that I want to, like, I beat into myself every day, and I want to not, you know, physically beat it into y'all, whoever's watching out there, is that you just have to start. If you have something, like, I would rather, I don't want to die with the music still in me, you know?
Well, because then it dies. Because if no one ever heard it, if it's never been recorded, it disappears forever.
Yeah, but not just the literal music, but I mean, like, just go for it. Because I'm not even going to say even if I fail, because there's no way in hell I'm going to fail, because I just keep going.
What is failure anyways?
Yeah.
Because success is just learning. Your happiness.
Yeah.
If you're happy with where you're at right now, you're already successful.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I just said too. I just said that to somebody yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the biggest success and the biggest thing that has come out of being homeless, is that I'm like, just do it. And
I mean, at the end of the day, here's the thing. You woke up this morning. Like, oxygen entered your lungs and your consciousness woke back up. You didn't stay lost in some dream. You didn't die in your sleep. You didn't wake up in some alternate universe. You woke up this morning, liberty v. justice, ready to go, ready to take on the world. Like, you know, anything could have happened in the last 24 hours, but instead you're here. And that's it. That's the most important thing to remember, is that you only have this moment. You have the moment you're in right now that you are lucky enough to have, because nobody really knows what happens at the end of it. There's all the theories, and there's all the beliefs, and there's all the religions, and everyone believes they're equally as right as everyone else. So it's like, at the end of the day, nobody truly knows what happens until it happens.
Yeah.
And the only thing you can do is grab the reins and take action, like you were saying.
Exactly.
To really control what happens in your life.
Yeah. Like, why be scared? Why listen to other people? You know, why not? Why not believe it? Even if you don't feel it, you just say you believe it here. Even if you don't feel it in your heart, the more you go towards it, the more you take action, the more you're going to see. Because you know what? Like a few years ago, I would not sing in front of people as an audience. Like I would, even my own singing, maybe outside, I would let it come out sometimes, but it was stifling me and it was hurting me. What you hold on to hinders you. But now that I'm more myself and I'm coming out and I'm singing out, and then I actually go, not just on the bus, but like going out on stage, I'm singing at Whole Foods. If I want to sing, I'm singing. If I want to dance, I'm going to let it come out, you know? And the more I do that, and the more that it reminds me of this, the better my life is, you know, and the closer I am to being financially successful too. Because people are telling me like, oh, I love that about you. Oh man, you're a great singer. And I'm like, you know, it's like, but the more I do that, this quote by Marianne Williamson, she said, the more you are liberated from your own fears, the more that your presence automatically liberates others. And so that's what I'm all about, you know? That's kind of, I found this quote a few years ago when I first lost my home, and that's one of the things that I took that, what is that? Is that trains?
No, that's people zipping by in race cars. That's what I told you, man. Yeah, they zip through and they like, no regard for pedestrians or people coming through at all. Everyone's in a hurry. They're just like flying by like this is a racetrack. It's not. It's a residential area.
That's crazy.
That's what I'm telling you. Like, that's why I kind of want to move, because that's scary. Like, that's what I crossed the street in. Like, what? That's terrifying.
Yeah. But can I tell you one of my big goals?
Absolutely.
This is the reason why I'm never going to quit. Like, people say that I'm the female Gary Vaynerchuk because I work. I love to work. That's where I found out, like, oh my gosh, the more I work, the luckier I get. And I just love what I do. So it's like when you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Yeah. You know, and it's like they say that the most successful people in this world are people who can't differentiate between work and fun.
That's how I am. Like, you know? Okay, so I 100% agree with that statement. Like, I'm not saying that I'm successful yet in the eyes of everyone, but for me, I'm happy with where I'm at. I love my life, so I think that I'm successful because I love my life, you know?
And who cares what anybody else thinks?
Exactly, yeah. Like, a year ago, I would say that I was successful, and now it just keeps getting better and better. So it's like, honestly, I've already hit my ground zero, like the bare minimum that I could deal with personally, and I've only gone up from there. So it's like, I'm good, you know? It's like, I'm good with this life. I totally lost my train of thought. What was it? What was the last thing you said? What was it you were talking about?
About why I love working so much.
Oh yeah. So I literally can't tell the difference between work and having fun, because like people will be like, oh, you do video game streaming, you do podcasting, you have an agency, you do the marketing for that agency, you make videos, you travel, you have a life, you have friends, you have a relationship. Like, what? How do you do all that stuff? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not doing things. I just living. I don't know. Like, I'm just living my life. Like, I can't imagine a world where I don't do this. Like, it seems odd to me that there are people that just wake up, go to work, go home, and that's it. Like, wake up, go to work, go home, wake up, go to work, go home. Like, and if that's you and you're living your life and you're happy and that's your best life, then that's absolutely fine. You're not happy. I just personally can't comprehend the mindset of that. You know what I mean? Because, like, for me, every single moment, like, I get bored as shit if I'm not doing anything. If I'm just sitting there doing nothing, even if I'm just watching a movie or something, like, I pull my phone. I find that I like pull my phone out. I just start like commenting on Instagram posts and like retweeting people and like responding to messages and reading my emails and scheduling calls and like setting up business stuff with the apps and everything, like, or writing in my books or writing scripts for a video. It's like I'm always doing some little thing while I'm slacking off. So even in my calm, like, Slack time, I'm still doing actions. I'm still building things for other things. And people look at that and they're like, why are you working so hard? You should relax. Like, you're going to stress yourself out, like burn yourself out. But I'm like, I'm just happy. Like, I'm just living my life. I'm just living my best happy life. Like, when I get the feeling of passion to do something, I don't sit on it. I just do it.
Yeah, here's what I think about burnout is that you can't get burnout. Like, I found out I was getting burnout, right? But when I look at my life today, and when I look at my life even like 6 months ago, it's because I was doing things that I didn't want to do.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that you could be doing. It's more like busy work to you. It could be real work for somebody else. But to you, even if it's creative and you're doing something and it like certain people you talk to is the same thing. Certain things you do, places you go, and people you talk to can really drain your energy.
Yeah.
But when you're doing things that notice your energy levels, you know, and when something energizes you, that's what keeps you going. So you're not gonna get burnt out as long as you're doing more of the things that energize you and more of the people that energize you.
I think burnout is just when you're going against your inner passion.
Yeah.
Truly. So that was the alarm for you. Last thoughts. Go ahead and look at the camera. Let the person know, like, this is you, like, let's say 5 years ago. What do you tell yourself? Like, you're trying to build something. You're in that 96%. You're not building anything for yourself because you're comfortable with life. You're just droning through, living day to day. What do you tell that person to take action, to draw the line in the sand, and to start living their best life?
Man, it's kind of hard because, like you said, you can't remember the mindset, or how would you word it? The mindset of somebody who's just like going through the motions and working day to day and living off. I haven't made it yet. But I will, because I don't give up. And I don't give up because I'm here for you. I'm here to show you what's possible when you have an unbreakable spirit and you have goals and you're committed to those goals. I'm committed for you, because I remember what I felt like when I was living that kind of life, and when I was allowing people to put me down. I wasn't being myself. I wasn't happy. I couldn't say my truths. I couldn't even have fun. I couldn't even listen to my music because I was just so drained by the people around me. Always just putting me down. And here's what I think. Why not just try it? You know, just try it. Because even if you have a job, you want to keep your income, you know, do something at night. Or if you have a night job, do something during the day and just start going little. And hey, like, if you want to be a singer, go sing on stage a couple times a week. Go to karaoke, whatever. Just do a YouTube channel. Use Smule, use the app. Do something towards your goals just to prove to yourself that, hey, I'm not going to be afraid anymore. Yeah. Because fear is where poverty lives. And you don't want to live the rest of your life poor. You don't want to live not having at least tried to accomplish your goals. So
that's a good statement.
You know,
I like it.
It's better off just to try.
Yeah.
You know, but then Yoda says there's no try, there's only do or do not.
Do or do not, yeah. So really quick, where is the best place for people to find you? YouTube, Liberty v Justice.
Yeah, right? My channel is called I'm Worth It.
I Am Worth It.
But if you just Google Liberty v Justice, you can find me everywhere. You can connect with me Instagram, anywhere. But the most important thing is if you subscribe to my channel and comment, so I can know who you are, so I can show you love back.
Absolutely awesome. And if you want to support Liberty's journey as well, she just launched a Patreon page and is growing that up so that she can go ahead and support her career. Keep in mind, if you support what she's doing, go ahead, check out her work on YouTube, throw her some support on Patreon so she can continue to do what she does and continue to create content to help people's lives and help their journeys a little bit easier along the way.
And I can come to your city.
Yeah.
I want to tell you real quick, my big goal, one of my biggest goals, is it can get me closer to my goal. Sooner I start making money, because one of my big goals is I had cancer a few years ago and I couldn't walk. I found out I have celiac disease. So long story short, starting a restaurant nationwide, at least one in every state in the United States. But here's the catch. You're going to be like, well, don't ask me how I'm going to do it. Free food for everybody, because I want to build communities. I want people to know that you're worth it to eat the healthy food. Gluten-free, whole foods, but it's about community, building community, because you know what? My grandma was there for me. When you feel like you're part of a community, you feel like people care, you're not out there committing crimes, you're not out there doing drugs, You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's what I want to do.
So all that information will be down in the description. I'm not trying to rush you. It's just it is time for you to get to your class. I don't want you to miss it. Thank you so much for coming out, Liberty. Thank you guys so much for watching this, and I will see you next week.
You are worth it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you liked this episode of the podcast, please be sure to subscribe and follow on whatever your listening application of choice may be. That way, you can get notifications every Wednesday when we upload a brand new episode. If you're listening to this via audio podcast format, you can watch the video for this episode on YouTube, DTube, or pretty much any other platform where video can be natively distributed. Please be sure to like, comment, and share to get the conversation rolling and build out this community of like-minded professionals so we can learn from each other and share our stories. Links to all the products I use to make this content are down in the description below, as well as all the links for our fantastic guest and what we talked about in this episode. If you would like to further show your support for the channel, you can find out how you can be a direct supporter on Patreon or Anchor in the description below. Or you can make your way over to shopmichaelbisbell.com and get yourself some awesome new merch from our collection of designs or one of the digital tools to help accelerate your own brand forward. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of The Wednesday Wanderer. I look forward to seeing you back here next week.